Hey everyone, and welcome to What Did I Miss, where today I'm looking ahead to the 11th episode of the third season of Star Trek Discovery, which is now named Su'Kal after first being announced as being named the Citadel. First, I'd like to apologize for this video being a few days later than usual. My 3-year-old son broke his leg on Friday, so my life has been turned upside down since then. But I would like to thank everyone for their well wishes on Facebook and Twitter. Henry will be doing well and back on his quest to bringing order to the galaxy soon. After a tremendous 2-part episode which saw the return of a fan favorite character, as well as the departure of another, Discovery is going to have its hands full this week to produce a show that fans will remember. There are only 3 episodes left this season, and now that the crew knows of the source of the burn and have a signal from a ship at the source, they are fast on their way towards learning an answer. But the fact that the ship is Kelpian, the species of now Captain Saru, complicates the focus of the mission and may lead to some hard and risky choices being made. It also looks like Gray will be returning to the show after his absence led to Adira opening up to more members of the crew, especially Stamets and Dr. Culber, who I affectionately refer to as Space Dads because of the new role they fill in their life. So let's watch the trailer for Su'Kal, and if you have not yet, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for weekly content so you are not left asking, what did I miss? The trailer starts out with the crew on the way to the Verubin Nebula, which Adira along with Stamets and Tilly have traced the source of the burn to. The first shot though looks like a planet that has broken apart, so this along with some of the later shots in the trailer leads me to believe that the ship they are searching for may have crashed into this planet, and that is where the crew ultimately will beam down to. There's also a shot of Stamets, Dr. Culber, and Saru looking at an analysis beaming from Stamets' badge, which is pretty cool, and Stamets states that someone is alive inside the ship. It looks like it is a bumpy ride too, as we see the ship is at red alert and both Lieutenants Detmer and Osukin look pretty tense. This would be further evidence that a ship may have crashed if the sector is harmful for space travel. In fact, the scene reminds me of an area of space known as the Badlands, which was featured in both Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and was an area of space that contained a consistent amount of plasma storms and gravitational anomalies that made most ships avoid the area. It looks like an away team is then formed of Dr. Culber and Burnham, but that can't be it, because a 2-person away team of just a doctor and a science officer seems a bit sparse. Also, we see Burnham say goodbye to Tilly and Culber say goodbye to Stamets, but pay attention to their uniform, as in the next scene, which they are presumably on the ship, they are wearing different clothes. What is most interesting is that it looks like Dr. Culber is wearing an earring or something on his right ear, which leads me to believe that they may have been transported into some type of alternate construct, like Inception, or a dream that seems like reality. The earring could be a device that allows them to enter this environment, as in a shot later in the trailer, Burnham's hair is strategically covering her right ear, so we can't see if she has something there as well. Or it could be part of the costume of the avatar Culber has inhabited. Even the shot of Culber looking out into the area reminds me of the Relativity picture by M.C. Escher, an artist that heavily influenced the mechanics behind the movie Inception. As Burnham and Dr. Culber try to make sense of things, it looks like the Discovery are followed into the nebula by Osira, the head of the Emerald Chain, who we met a few episodes back and looks to still be gunning for the Discovery. The Discovery has to leave the fight at all costs because if you remember, Admiral Vance told Saru how important Discovery is to the greater good of the Federation, and they cannot afford to lose them in a battle. Of course, Stamets objects to leaving his husband behind and pleads with them not to leave. This reminds me of the great Deep Space Nine episode named Change of Heart, in which the issue of people who serve together that are romantically involved can be compromised is explored, as newlywed Worf is forced to save his wife Jadzia by breaking off a mission. In the shot, you can also see a returning cast member next to Adira that I will discuss in the sneak peek breakdown now. Once again, I cannot play the sneak peek because of copyright laws, and this week I'm really sad about that because I think it was my favorite one so far. It looks like this is at the end of the Irish wake we saw the crew give for Giorgio after she left the crew and the show last week, and Adira and Stamets are speaking. It looks like they are still trying to fit in but feel comfortable enough at least around Stamets. He acknowledges this and reminds them that they also have Culber, that they are a package deal. I really do love the Space Dads relationship that has been created this season, and I hope it lasts for a while. We then see Gray appear and begin to speak with Adira. Adira is surprised, and even though he cannot see Gray, Stamets can tell by their reaction that he has appeared. He excuses himself, but not before explaining to Gray that if they were not at a memorial that he would give him a piece of his mind. The pictures that have been released look fun as well, as they are mostly a book with Grudge at Dr. Pollard's office. I think that Grudge has officially passed Spot as the most beloved cat in the Star Trek universe, but let me know in the comments whatever famous pet is your favorite. I've always been partial to a Targ myself. We also see some shots of the crew on the bridge during Red Alert, which is likely when they arrive in the nebula. I'm really enjoying the season, so I hope that the rest of the way the crew can keep up the momentum and produce a good reason for the burn and continue the story of the Discovery into Season 4. It is very interesting to me that the show decided to change the name of the episode from the Citadel to Su'Kal, which looks to be like it could be Kelpian or Vulcan for Citadel. A citadel is often the main fortress of an army, so perhaps whatever the crew travels into is the main base of whatever force neutralized the Federation with the burn. I also think it is curious that the description of the episode states that Burnham, Saru, and Culber make a shocking realization realization about the origin of the burn. But we do not see Saru anywhere on the away team, and he's only on the ship, and he is not the one that gives the order to go to jump. That sounds to me like Detmer or Tilly's voice. Another curious addition to this episode is that according to the cast list, Rachel and Cheryl is returning as Nan, who left the crew earlier this season when the crew came upon a seed ship that was being cared for by her people, the Barzan. This leads me to believe that something they will find will tell them that perhaps the Federation or maybe even the Kelpians are responsible for the cause of the burn. The Kelpians are a different species now, that they are no longer cold before reaching a dominant level of evolution, and that seems to make them much more aggressive. Without the leadership of Saru over these past hundreds of years, the species may have followed a darker path, which would also explain why we have never heard of the race until Discovery. But you let me know, what did I miss? What do you think is going to happen this week, and do you like where the season is going so far? Let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe buttons, and I will see you next time on What Did I Miss?